start. So, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining. The session is for anyone who gets paged. SREs, DevOps, support, knock everyone. And we'll do our best to keep this practical. And by the end, I believe you will leave with a simple framework that you suggest that we use, even if you never use our product. We'll start with a quick intro. My name is David Lotan. I'm the VP product at Logz.io. I lead the product at Logz.io and our new agentic observability platform that we call Orion IQ.
And I'm Kevin. I'm an AI engineer here, and I lead the RCA part of our agentic observability platform, Orion IQ. And I'll show you today how it really works, and if everything works, I'll run it live and show you demo.
If everything works, absolutely. So everyone, a few quick logistics. We are recording this, so you will get this after. Please feel free to ask questions at any time. We have the chat in the Zoom. We will do our best to answer all of the questions, but I promise that if we don't have time, we don't manage to do everything, we will follow up by email. The plan for today, we have many things to cover. So first of all, we're going to talk about the RCA reality, why incidents still cost hours. We will talk a little bit about our blueprint. We'll talk about what we're seeing in the field, and then if everything works, we'll see a live demo running inside of our product today. And finally, what to do next, plus covering your questions. We have a packed. Let's start. So I'd like to start with the story all of us know. It's 2:47 in the morning. Checkout is 8 times slower than normal. An engineer, let's call her Maya, gets paged. Maya starts trying to understand. She probably has the metrics in one tab, logs in another. She checks Slacks to see whether anyone deployed anything last night. She asks questions. Then the traces, then the runbook, which is always 6 months old.
And what you can see now, the real problem is it's not the bug. The bug might be one-line fix. The real problem is putting the picture together, especially at 3 a.m. It could be that Maya has to open 5, 6, 7 different apps before she even comes close to seeing the root cause. And we've seen this actually a lot with our proprietary clients, that this is like the biggest part is understanding the problem before even coming to an idea of a fix.
Yeah, so maybe we can go back to the audience. Let's see where all of you stand. So maybe we can just put up a quick poll.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, we're trying to understand how much of your time goes to understanding what's going on before you fix anything. Me and Kevin were just talking about this before. We have our hunch. But let's see, let's give it a few seconds and see. Yeah, in the meantime, it goes exactly what we predicted, what we thought. Let's wait, let's give it like 5 more seconds. Okay, so the majority is 20 to 60 minutes range, this is exactly what we were expecting. And don't worry, this is typically the time, and this is exactly the problem that we're going to talk about today. So why is it still so hard in 2026? So the part that people miss, that even if your observability is perfectly unified, you have a one single pane of glass, a lot of the context you need still lives outside of it. You deploy in GitHub, your ticket is in Jira, the runbook is in Confluence, and last night's thread is in Slack, and each one holds a little bit, a different piece of the puzzle, and none of them is in your observability tool. The answer is usually out there, but it's just scattered, and it crosses different teams. And typically the person who would know best how to solve this might be asleep, or God forbid, left in March.
Here's the part that we know, the hard part. Observability is great at collecting data. Yeah. We can see everything now. We have like the technical capabilities. What is the so-called, as we call it, the figurative, what the hard part is to find the figurative needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find the needle at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. When the outage is actually costing money and nobody's at their best.
Absolutely.
And here's the part that people don't measure. Everyone tracks MTTR, time to resolve, or at least
trying to.
But most of the time, it's the time to understand that it's really a crucial part. The fix is often, as we've mentioned before, a small rollback, and especially the right rollback. But to find the right rollback and to fix the problem in a good amount of time, this is the hard part of it.
And absolutely, and where it builds up, it's the fact that every hour that you spend being reactive and not solving it correctly, you're just spending time not preventing the next issue. And so what we wanted to cover is like what best teams do to break this loop, and they basically use an RCA framework.
So here's the framework that we recommend. 4 steps, which are Orient, Isolate, Hypothesize, and Verify and Act. So what happens in Orient? First of all, you would have to like put everything together into like one timeline. That means not just logs, metrics, and traces, which are telemetry data, but also the recent deploys, the alerts, the tickets,
the
runbooks, the chat threads, the incident channel in Slack.
And the most important thing,
the past incident.
The past
incident always happens. So to get a baseline of what everything that happened, and then we can start to isolate it, like what changed. Changes can also come from everything: deployments, configs, feature flags, scaling,
changes in authentication, token expired.
Yeah, we've seen group access changes that can possibly like change API keys that nobody's seen. Like it can come from everything.
Yeah.
And when we have found some possible candidates for a problem, we can put up suspects. We can put up some hypotheses. And rank the suspect based on the evidence, of the strength of the evidences. And this is important that we have all the hypotheses need to be tested by actual evidence that we gather in this whole journey.
And this is not the loudest.
It's not the loudest.
No.
It's not the most data. It's just the right data and the right evidence that we can critique it and like find the right way.
And the past fix is always a strong evidence. I keep saying this because we keep seeing it in our customers. It's very common.
And the last step is verify and act. So we would then go through the evidences and see and challenge it even and see if this also fits the hypothesis.
We need to confirm it, of course.
Confirm it, and then see what is the appropriate action for this development, and like what is the smallest safe step that you can do in order to fix this problem for in short term and then also like for the long term.
Absolutely, and the other obviously the order matters. Like we see that many failed investigations just skip Orient and jump to their favorite theory, which very common is it's the database. The reason is the database, and guessing is a very bad way of doing RCA.
And if you take one thing from today, and it's not like our product or anything else, it's just like the most important question you can ask here in this framework is what changed in the last hour.
Absolutely.
With estimates, we've seen this. I think what was it, 7 out of 10? Something like this. 7 out of 10 incidents come from a change in the last hour, basically. And this is the framework that we talked about. So how does it work? Again, like how does it work? First of all, is the data gathering, the Orient, and the isolation. So what is happening? Orient puts everything on one timeline. The logs, the metrics, the traces, but also the deploys, the alerts, the notes from past incidents you mentioned all the time, the runbook changes, maybe also like audit trails. So
and we know that this is far from being trivial. It's a lot of integration points to get.
So an isolate adds the changes on top. So the deploys, the config, the flags, feature flags, the scale dependencies we talked about, and for example, you can see it on the presentation. Like if there was a deploy 90 seconds before latency spike, it becomes a really big candidate for a hypothesis that we can test.
Yeah.
For that, you don't need the genius. You need the timeline, the framework.
Absolutely. And if you remember we started with Maya 6 steps. So that's the Orient step done by hand. The alternative is building this automatically, and those 15 minutes just might become 2. The bug didn't get easier, just finding it did, and that's the whole point of what we're trying to say today.
And then you meet a hypothesis, and I mentioned every hypothesis needs to be testable against certain evidence. As we mentioned, the database is slow as a guess. What is slow? Is this like an objective metric? It's slow as nothing. It's database. P99 jumped 40 seconds right after the 246 deploy that added a slow query. And here's the trace. That's a hypothesis that I can test against actually telemetry evidence, against Slack incident evidence, against deploy evidence. And we have seen this exact shape too. And the past fix, again, we'll say this a couple of times still, the past fix is also evidence and can actually lift one hypothesis to the top because it happened already.
And you need to check it before you touch production. That's the difference between a senior engineer and someone that guesses or hopes.
Now, two quick reality checks that we've seen from the field before. First, the biggest trap is too many alerts, so-called alert fatigue that we all know. We had one case where a customer had 4,000, was it?
Yeah, 4,000.
4,000 alerts a week.
Which that's okay. The problem was that
about the true positive rate was the problem.
2%.
2% were real. So we had a lot of false positive. And so the best engineers started to treat the alert channel as some annoying notification that they get. And nobody was really like getting lost because there's, if you have so much false positive, you don't really try to get like this.
We're certain that you know this. Maybe not in that extreme, but probably this you saw this before.
So step one is simple hygiene. Prune it of obvious junks, maybe outdated alerts. That's also often happening.
But honestly, this never happens. Like it's probably on your to-do list, but the chances are slim that you're going to do it. The second thing that we see and is important are the runbooks. Most of yours are probably out of date, and that's okay. We know that updating the playbooks is hard, and in many cases because a lot relies on tribal knowledge. We all know that, and we will come back to this in a few minutes. So I think that the important question for today is like, can we automate this? So first of all, absolutely, yes, we can automate this, but the framework is still crucial. Whether RCA is driven by hand, by a person, or by an agent, even agents will fail without a strong method driving them. And without an RCA method, you're just automating a messy process. You don't get order, you just get a faster mess. And like we've seen cases like a bad runbook plus just generic AI doesn't give you, just gives you wrong answers faster.
We learned this the hard way by experimenting with RCA for like a lot of time.
We've been doing this for a while.
We have this for a while, and we've seen several of customers trying to automate themselves.
Absolutely.
Getting real value from automated RCA requires an actual clear RCA process first. So the process wins. The agent always speeds up the process. The problem is if the process is bad, garbage in, garbage out. If the process is bad, you don't get good results. If the process is already working good, the agent can make amazing things.
Yeah, the thing is that if you are relying on the models come ready out of the box, but can you really trust it to do RCA? It's a generic model. It doesn't work. It might work every once in a while, but this is not the process. And there's something which I want to relate to what, if we started talking about automation, is what this means for people. And I don't want to pretend that this doesn't influence people. It does. We just released, I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a joint use case with the Testable, which is one of our customers, and they managed to automate the whole NOC team with us. They still have people, of course, but those people moved up. So they handle the unusual problems, and they watch over the agents that are doing the routine work. So we're not saying that this replaces the team, it just changes what the team works on, away from doing the same again and again repetitive work towards work that only people can do.
And before we go on, a quick honest check, and no judgment for that, is like, where are you right now with your AI and observability right now?
Yeah, also here, like, we're happy to do like a quick poll and see where you stand.
Here. Exactly. Are you skeptical? Are you not trusting it? Are you experimenting? Is it ready in production?
Are you using AI? Basically, are you using AI in your observability?
Oh.
Also here we have our own guesses.
It seems like we're...
Like, I kind of wonder that the ones that are answering in production, whether they're using logs, but Yeah.
Okay.
Let's give it a few more seconds. Okay, yeah, so I think we can continue. Yeah, well, so what we suspected is that experimenting carefully is where we are right now. And this is basically where our customers are. And we want to be honest with you. This is what to be honest about what works and what doesn't. And now for the honest part, so the framework we just showed you isn't our invention. It's just a good practice that we follow. I'm assuming that most of you are already using some version of it. We're not claiming the framework is a new thing or a secret sauce behind our agent, but the secret sauce is that our agent is instructed to run on top of it and to follow it carefully. And I want to be precise because the fact that everyone is talking about AI and observability, it's everywhere. But in most cases, it's just using like the play models, text summarization at best. So this is not the case. And maybe can talk about like what are we doing different.
Yeah, so what I was talking about, the big thing is the framework, the harness all the time. And what is actually different are four things. The first one is investigate across all your contexts. So it's not only telemetry anymore.
It's what we mentioned in the framework.
In the framework. Yep. It's tickets, it's runbooks, it's past incidents, it's chat. So again, the framework, the whole system that can gather data. This is like what's changing right now.
Yeah.
You can argue with it. We will show you later how we can actually talk to it. And you see that a lot of this work changes from collecting and like trying to find it to like validating it. Challenging the AI, the agentic results.
We keep joking, Kevin. We've seen cases, of course, that agents made mistakes in the past. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes, but it's definitely fine to argue with the agent and what it's proposing.
Because it's agents, it can also act and do different things, but it's always with your approval. So it's always that we can set up also like the freedom of the agents and like what, but in the end, the control lies with the customers.
Yeah, you need to like the human is kept in the loop, so you need to approve.
And what is also important is it gets smarter over time. So we have like a feedback mechanism and like everything that talked about the whole memory setup. Also, and the patent compression, that is a Logz patented tool that makes all the telemetry data go into like the context of the agentic framework so that we can use it and like see what happens there and like also use all the data that we gather. And the reinforcement loop. So at one point, we are able to like take the feedback and if something goes wrong, like write it down to the runbooks, write it down to memory files and use what happened to improve.
Yeah. I think we want to talk about this in a few minutes. So if we need to summarize in like in one sentence, it's a professional RCA agent. It follows the framework that we just spoke about. It investigates across all of your context, doesn't leave anything unattended. It knows how to defend its reasoning. If not, like as I mentioned, you can challenge it, and it needs to defend its reasoning. It acts with your approval, which is important. Would it always stay with this? Maybe not, depending on the use cases. But what we're seeing from use cases from our customers, in many cases, they want the human in the middle. And it gets smarter every incident because of this feedback loop. I'm going to, again, discuss in a few minutes.
Another bonus, which you forgot to mention, this is like going back to the building block we mentioned. The agent has no problem running on every alert. So that's also a possibility.
It doesn't get tired. Yeah.
It doesn't get tired. They can read every alert. But also it triages the stream and surfaces what matters. So it doesn't need to do that. If you want to go for all of the alerts,
yeah, we won't stop you.
We won't stop you, but it's not something that we recommend. Gets expensive quite fast.
Yeah, I know. We won't send you to do that. Like we understand that you have a lot of your hands. And going back and cleaning alerts is a difficult task that people don't tend to do. About the runbook, by the way, this is another thing, as we mentioned before, that is coming from the field. After each run, you can review the work of the agent, approve, correct, rate it. In many cases, this ends up achieving you two things. First of all, it measures how good the agent really is. And this is important. You want to see that it's performing empirically, right? Not based on a guess. And the second thing is because you're giving it feedback, it can improve the playbook. So they're basically, like every time an agent is executed and you provide feedback, it makes the playbook better for the next time. So the next time when it runs, it's a better RCA, and believe me, it's much better than just going ahead and going to maintain a wiki. Maybe Kevin, let's show them.
Yes, let's do that. So we have a little demo prepared that we're going to show you now. And we're going back to Maya's case, or like if Maya was there. And maybe she wakes up in the morning, maybe she wakes up at 3 a.m. And she would wake up and ask basically, are there any incidents I should look at? And and before we start, I want to say something. This is our Orion icon chatbot, which is already connected it cannot really get connected to it. Don't worry, in production, if you want to run an RCA on an alert or something, you don't have to do this manually. It will be triggered by alerts or like scheduled.
We have one of the features that we have, maybe some of our customers know about this. We call it the Alert AI Analysis. This is one of the most successful features that we had in the platform in the last years, and the adoption is huge. So from that,
and to be honest, we're like on honesty today. We're working some of the features that we're presenting here in the demo are already live. Some of them we are actively developing because this is a continuous process of improvement that we're trying to do and to make the RCA experience even better. So again, as we mentioned before, there's an alert or like a clear priority in incidents that we're finding right now. So we checked the agent checked in Slack. Everything else across the channel is guide. So what I want to do is like, you want to investigate it, and something like, yes, let's start the RCA process we talked about. Let's do that.
So Kevin, should just to be clear, when you asking is anything in incidents, you're basically we've connected to our Slack and checking. Like this is our demo environment, but
yes, our demo
environment. See what you're seeing
exactly. And what it does here is actually doing the 3 steps in the beginning that we talked about, the Orient, isolate, and this is the framework. The framework that is implemented by the agent itself, but it's the framework still, no? We're just like getting a timeline and the timeline, the Orient and the isolation, what changed. Only one thing in the window, the deploy changed, which came a minute before the latency spikes. So there we can see our hypothesis ranked by evidence, which are the introduction, the first one, we have seen the ranked ones, and we can see 3 ranked by the strength of the evidences.
Yeah, so because like in many cases, it's hard to find like one key hypothesis, which is the only one. In many cases, there's a few. Of course, there's a few. This is the reason we're ranking them based on evidence, right?
Exactly, and this is like what we're doing now, which then we're asking for the evidence behind this, which is the evidence is always actual data gathered from the tools that the agent uses. Yeah. So it can be telemetry, also it can be like, as we said, past incidences, our favorite evidence source. And here's the raw evidence, the deploy marker, which happened exactly before the latency spikes. So this is really hard evidence. And then in this particular demo case, it's also like, hey, I also seen this exact pattern before. Want me to pull the Runback from the incident 3 weeks ago, which we say yes to. What would happen here is that it will go to Confluence now to another integration, and we'll look for the exact runbook that was opened because of this incident that happened 3 weeks ago. Found it. And
sorry for interrupting. I just want to mention one thing. Please note again on the related that we're showing this in front of your eyes so you can see the different steps. But please note that the agent is instructed, because it's instructed to follow our RCA framework, you can actually see the question. So it's instructed to challenge itself. It's instructed to look in the past, and it's showing it to you. And this is like what we would want as a user looking at this to be involved and actually validate that this is exactly as he anticipated.
And what this provides actually is the same root cause, the same exception, which again we said, again we said evidence, like past evidence, the best evidence, and this is where I said that like this then becomes the best hypothesis even more. The obvious alternative is last night's traffic spike, and the agent will also like give you the counterfactual thing, which is saying why is it not the second one? So let's see what happens. So basically just did the reasoning by itself and understood, okay, the first one is it, the second one are bystanders. Now we'll give the explanation why the evidence is not enough to put it on the top list.
On the second one, yeah.
Which we can also gather here. And this is, which also explains that this is like a bystander, not a cause. So basically we found a root cause, good for us. And let's see, and next one would be to go to the fixes or like to the things that needs to be done after you found a root cause in general.
Yeah, part of the RCA.
So let's see what our agent tells us to do. Perfect. So the recommended fix, like a good one, is always like immediate rollback of the deploy that introduced the error, which is the first line of defense that you should always do. And the second step would be that we would add a more durable long-term fix that could be introduced. We're working also with GitHub and like that this can be in a PR or just added to like a index in a database.
Yeah.
So this is something that's happening. And yeah. So this is like, then you would ask if you do the rollback, which can also seem like, depending on the integrations that could be done there, or like we do it automatic. Again, this is like what you want. It's like what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And the next step we would ask is like, wanted to have a Jira ticket and post a summary incidents, because the one thing that everyone forgets in the stress of this is updating people that there is a fix and there is something that's solved. So the agent can do this for you. It can add it to the Slack channel. It opens a ticket. For the audit trail also, when you're trying to see, when you do a retrospective for the incident, no? And this is what would happen here.
And by the way, the fact that it's writing back to the incidents channel, the next time, God forbid, if something similar happens, by the fact that it's reading the history of the incidents, there will be another important piece of information that will be surfaced for the next time you run the RCA.
Because past evidence.
Yeah.
And should I post a Jira ticket and incidents? No. That's not going to do it, because last time we did that, our DOD got a little bit nervous.
Yeah. So we'll skip that. And so first of all, thank you, Kevin. I want to stress something. What Kevin showed, this is because we wanted for you to watch it think. In production, you won't work like this. You would set up an RCA agent, an alert AI analysis, and then you would hook it up with an alert. So every time an alert would be triggered, the RCA agent would take control, and the answer will be in your, depending on what your configuration, that might be in your Slack. The reason we're showing it to you, we want to show you again how it works. Kevin mentioned this. Orion icon is already available within Orion IQ. The RCA agent, the first version, is already highly adopted, being used by you. We are showing here things that are just about to land. Starting from next week, you would see this being gradually deployed to your systems. And we just want you to get ready for this, and we'll talk about this more in the end. And basically, this is what we mean by when we say agentic observability.
Now, for a question, I've also seen this in the question: is this a demo also, or is it a real thing? And we can say it's real. The same Tethering of David talked about before is running in production already, and people are using it every day and rated about 87%. So we talked about feedback mechanism. This is the feedback. This is the trust metric that we get. This is and work together to improve the model as well. And people are 87% happy with what
and these are people labeling the outcome of the agent, right? This is not a vanity metric. This is a person looking at the agent, the result of the execution of the agent, and saying whether it was right or wrong. So an 87% are right, and we are still debating on the other 13. And it's important to say that so we're talking about why are we mixing NOC and RCA. So it doesn't really matter. It's typically a very similar process that you follow, whether you're calling your SRE or platform, on-call, platform, support. It's typically the same pains and the same blueprints. The name of the team obviously changes, but the process doesn't. And you can see, like, we didn't show you 100%. It's 87%. Can you get to 100%? Yes, or maybe close to 100%, but this takes work. It takes work. And this is where we are relying on basically people providing feedback back to the agent using this feedback mechanism that is part of an agentic work. And every time someone would review, approve, correct the agent, and that feedback would both measure how the agent behaved and help improve the playbook for the next time. So it will keep getting better, and you will be able to see it improving with the numbers that you're seeing. And this is something that, again, we have already people using it. It will improve, but this is not a future promise. This is a present promise.
And you forgot to mention, we also have another project in mind that the
nagging agent.
The nagging agent. Its whole job is to remind you that you can give feedback on the performances and everything that ran, so that we can actively work together to make all the system better and like improve the performance of the agents, because we want to like apply to one setup. It's like we want, and we get there, that always the agent at least as good as before and never worse.
Okay.
This is like the most important thing. It never gets worse, and if it stays the same, it stays the same, but it never gets worse. And this is
yeah. So again, this is the nagging agent is not the formal name. This is like an internal name, but we understand that the importance of providing feedback to agents the same way it's providing feedback to employees. So this is the same mechanism. It's still being developed, but I think you get the idea how to improve the agent work. So let's spend a few minutes about what to do next. So we recommend that you adopt the framework, an RCA framework. It could be us, what we presented, it could be a different one. It doesn't really matter if you're planning to do it manually or automated. It's the same 4 moves: the Orient, the isolate, hypothesize, and verify. It will lower your MTTR for sure. And obviously it's for you to use. Step 2, which is hopefully like we could interest you with that, is if you want this automated, we highly recommend involving your CISO. Why? Because in order for an agent to have this full context that we spoke about, it means letting agents connect to your systems. So it's an issue of data access. It's an issue of it's definitely a security conversation, and this takes the longest. So please involve your CISOs as soon as possible, and have them join the team.
And step 3 will pick one
use case. Yeah.
Pilot use case, one high value one reversible alert, one is a really pain for you and your teams. This is what we see, that this builds trust. If we can do it with one, then we can roll it out slowly. But like the best thing is to start one use case, one alert that's really annoying, one alert that needs fast reaction and fast time to process.
And absolutely brings value.
And absolutely brings value.
And don't try to do everything at once. It won't work. We build this gradually together with you.
And
and step 4, I put my email here for you to use. Talk to us. We will be happy to help you to hold your hand firing like the first agent, and to be honest, seeing it running on your own data is a key moment. Like you saw the demo, but you want to see it we know you want to see it on your own data. And don't worry about if you have alerts, like tons of alerts. That's okay. We will do the cleanup with you, as Kevin mentioned. Like agents don't really care about alert fatigue. They don't get tired. And don't wait for updating your playbooks. You don't need to do it upfront. We will do it together when we execute. Again, if you want to do it, please, we won't stop you, but you don't need to. And we will do it together. We will go implement one alert after the other in a methodological way as we go. And that's it. So you have here my email. Before we're going to go to questions, you have here my email. You can scan the QR code and sign up for an Orion IQ demo, and have this run on your data. This will do a major change. You will see that it actually works. So Kevin, maybe we got a few questions. Let's pick This one, okay, okay.
Yeah, we'll start with the obvious ones that we always
yeah.
can.
What if it's wrong? Yeah.
What is this? How do you stop it from being confidently wrong? Short version, it suggests you prove everything is gated and locked. The whole framework about hypotheses and evidences is basically that it doesn't hallucinate. So we're having a lot of grounding work that is being done. The feedback is helping. So like we have the framework is also improving and can capture and like it gets better basically. But the whole work, basically our framework, the four steps is the grounding work that we're doing a lot.
And to be honest, there are a few very pragmatic things you can do. Give us APIs that are read-only. Okay. Ask for gated actions. And I think that from our experience, the best way to see it, it's not a 0 to 1 process. It's a gradual process. So we start gradually. You see it working on one of your alerts. Then you can provide feedback and then iterate. At a certain point of time, you see whether you can trust it or not. In 87, as we said, 97%, it's a very high score. In most cases, you will be able to trust it. Yeah, okay.
And the next question would be, can I just build it with Cloud Code?
Yeah, this is another question we get asked a lot.
And honestly, probably you could, POC wise, but two things are hard to copy. First of all, our telemetry compression that puts everything into like in scale that can be in the full context from the telemetry product side. And second of all, production is messy. We know that. We know it especially here. Running it reliably in production is different than a POC. For all the obvious reasons. Now we have a lot of like different things that works together, authentications and everything, but like the whole system works together. This is the hard part that Cloud Code won't be able to do out of the box and would like lead a lot of the time. You can build a really nice POC for like super nice data that is set up and like pre-processed and everything, but reality and production is messy. And
I want to say something. Like I know it's fun building this. It's fun. It's cool. You get things like instantly, but just think whether you want to maintain this and you want to make sure that it works. If not, you're just adding more work to your already busy schedule. Let's see. Does it connect? Okay. Does it connect to Datadog? Yes, it does. It connects to Datadog. I'm happy about this question. So we didn't elaborate too much on Orion IQ, but the Orion IQ, the agentic observability platform, runs on top of Logz, obviously, and connects to other observability systems as well. So yes, definitely, it's not. It's an option. Just ask us. Like, please contact me. Ask me how, and I'll explain.
How long until I get value out of it?
So start gradually. Okay, the question is how long until I see value? So the answer is you will see value pretty fast. Again, start gradually, build trust, and then decide to expand. It shouldn't take you long, and we'll be happy to do it with you. Okay, yeah, of course. The question is, what about the costs? Token spend and so on and so forth. So we provide transparent pricing. This helps you to get a predictable spend, and you will be able to influence which models are selected. There are better models, obviously we'll recommend, but this gives you a complete control. Let's see. Okay, with this we covered already, yes. I think. The CISO, okay, it's okay. On the CISO thing, again, this is a very pragmatic, something that we are seeing in front of our eyes. Involve the CISO. Telemetry might include PII. I would ask the CISO what is his instructions, her instructions on what the agent could do, whether he wants it to suggest or act. We do provide a full audit, a full record of every action, and everything will be on your control. And so we highly recommend that you bring them. They will help, and so they don't block along the way.
Thanks.
Okay, this is another question, which is You don't need to say another question about this is probably coming from a Logz customer that is using maybe another observability system. We can connect to several observability systems. You don't need to send everything to Logz, although we won't mind. You can connect to various observability, as we mentioned, you can connect to various observability systems and have everything, all the context joined together. You will control the access. By the way, maybe it's an important point, also relates to the CISO. We are planning to provide a bring your own cloud deployment. This might help mitigate security or privacy questions. So just for you to know. Yeah, this I think we've covered.
That's it.
Okay, I think we're running out of time. So I hope it was an interesting session. I hope you can use this RCA framework. We highly recommend it. This is what we use in-house, even to that extent that our agent is instructed to work according to it. We would be happy to work with you. Please capture my email. Feel free to contact me, and we can work together on getting your first agent into production. Thank you so much.
Thank you much for your time.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.